Hello everyone, Jak Syn here on behalf of Fiend.com and Future Daze, and today it's another exciting episode of Artist Interviews. We're sitting with Roxi Drive. How are you doing today, Roxi?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Sun's shining outside. It's starting to warm up here. Summer is going to be coming in full swing. So, I'm ready for that. And I know everybody else out there is ready for that too.
Yeah, totally.
So today we're going to ask you a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let's do it. What are three of your most memorable moments from your musical career?
So, I think the first would be when I first released my debut single, just because it was the first single and it was, really exciting, but also really nerve-wracking because I didn't know, how people would feel about it, and I was kind of new to the whole thing. So I was really excited, and it was just so nice when it came out, the kind of reaction it got, and obviously we went on and made my first music video to it, which was great. Yeah, I think that would probably be the first one. So the second one probably would be the last time that I performed live. It was with two of my band members, well, the whole band. Because I haven't up till now had two band members with me. It's only ever been me on my own or just me and my drummer. So it was really nice because it was the first time we all got to play together, and it was only a local gig, but it felt really nice to be on stage and have them there with me. It just gave me a lot more confidence, and I can just relax a bit more. So it was cool. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. And the third, I couldn't really think of a third one because there's so many little moments that are just can be great, and so it's just kind of, I don't know if it's cheating, but like just collaborating with people, meeting new people all the time, and having different music out and having worked with so many people. It's just great. I can't pinpoint one person or one track necessarily, but just that whole thing of being able to work with people that you would never meet in real life, or I would never have had the chance to work with people, without this whole thing and connecting with everyone. So I guess just a combination of that, really.
And isn't that so great? Having the collaboration with different artists out there, getting to dive into their head as well, like trying to work together cohesively to release something amazing. You do have some really great collaborations out there, and you've been very fortunate to work with a lot of awesome people. So how is that in that collaborative effort? Like, what's that like?
It kind of just depends. Sometimes they'll contact me, or sometimes there's someone I really want to work with, so I'll contact them and see if they're up for doing something. And then, sometimes one of us already has an idea and we'll build from that. Like I'll have something already written down and then we'll work together to kind of create something. Or sometimes they already have a track that they've produced, and I'll work from that. There's normally still some back and forth, we have to kind of adapt it a little bit. It might not necessarily be right for vocals, so you have to kind of adapt it a bit. But yeah, generally it seems to have worked so far. So it's cool. It's just so nice to be able to work with, so many different people. So.
Well, that's so great. And like you were talking about adapting the song to work with vocals. It's like, yeah, you'll have an idea in your head. You go, wow, this song sounds amazing, but now I have to navigate it to help make it work to add that extra sizzle on top of it with the vocals. And I know you were talking about your last show that you're performing, like you were saying it was a smaller event. Like, what was that like?
It was cool. It was actually the first time that I got to perform in my own local area. Normally I travel to London, but I live down on the South Coast, so there's not so many kind of sort of synth gigs down here. It wasn't particularly a synth gig either, but it's a really lovely venue. They have a lot of bands there every week, and yeah, so it was cool. It was really nice. It was just a really supportive atmosphere and really nice stage, and just really nice to have me and my band members there, and just we were just so looking forward to performing this year. We had some nice gigs lined up, so it's just a shame that everything's been pushed back, but it'll happen just a little bit later on down the track. So
That is true. I mean, it will happen. It'll happen sooner rather than later. I know, if, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But it's great to see that you got to have that, as I like to say, passion play. You got to do that show where it was like you got to showcase what you could do in a smaller, more intimate setting with like a smaller amount of people, and you got to like really play your heart out for something that you really feel passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it always helps when the audience is really into it and really supportive and, having a dance and getting into it. So that always helps as well, because you get that kind of energy from them. So that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's always great when the audience starts dancing, because it's just a room full of energy from start to finish. And
Yeah.
you got them. You got them then when they start dancing and they start grooving. You got them.
Yeah, and it gives you that, that nice feeling, and gives you that energy, and it's the whole thing just works. There's nothing worse than people standing there like, not moving, and some people feel self-conscious. I get it. They don't want to, dance and stuff, but it really does help when you can see in people's faces they're all like getting into it.
I know exactly what you mean. It's like if I'm performing and I see a bunch of people with their arms crossed, like standing like very serious, I would make a point to get off stage to go over and start poking them like, hey, come on, get going, start moving. I know you want to dance.
Get it?
Exactly. Let's start bringing them in. What would you say is your favorite album/EP that you've worked on?
So, I mean, the first one I did was an EP, and that was special because, it was the first one, so that was nice. But I think the last one, I think my most recent album I released, just because I've got a bit more experience now, I'm a bit more confident, and so it helps with the whole thing, putting it together, having more of a direction of what I wanted the whole thing to sound like. And yeah, I think the last one, actually.
So that last album, Electric Heart, like what was it like working on that album? I mean, you have a lot of great tracks on there, a lot of amazing stuff that was done on there. So what was that like?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I really loved working on it, actually. And everyone I worked with was great, so talented. And, we all just seemed to understand each other. We knew the kind of direction it was going in. And yeah, it just all came together really well. I'm really pleased with how it all ended up, and I've had such a nice response from it as well. So I couldn't have asked for much more, really. That's kind of what I'm hoping for when I put something out. I mean, I enjoy it, and as long as I love it and I enjoy it, I know that's the main thing. But it's nice when other people, also get it, and enjoy it as well.
That's definitely true. I mean, when you're creating music and you get it out there, you go, I love it. I absolutely enjoy it. I'm going to share it with the world. And then when everybody else starts to receive it really well and they go, wow, this is great. This really helped me through something, or this like really hit me on all the right places. It just sends that joy, that amazing amount of joy right to you. You go, well, you know what I'm doing, I'm so glad that everybody else out there receives it really well. And it really brings that next level that it'll make you like keep continuing on with that journey that you're on. It really kind of like helps cement you into that focus where you kind of go, you know what I'm doing is really helping to push forward everything that I've helped to do up until this point.
Yeah. No, completely. No, it's lovely. And when someone sends you a message and they're like, oh, that particular song, that it really gets me through, it really helps me, or, I've had people talk about, losing people and saying, oh, your song, that particular song really, it helped me because when I listen to it, it allows me to get my emotions out and, and have a cry and stuff, and things like that are just lovely. It's really nice to hear. You don't always expect that when you're putting it out.
And you know what else too? One of the songs that I love from you, that I love playing, I love DJing live, is Dangerous. I love being able to DJ that live, for people out there. And when that song comes on, a lot of people tend to groove to it. When we do our San Junipero events out here in LA, in San Francisco and all that, like they really, I was like, you know what? When I see this crowd and they're grooving really good, I go, you know what? I'm going to drop Dangerous on them. See what they think from that. And they're like, whose song is this? Like, who is this? And I go, have you not heard of Roxi Drive? Like, really?
Oh, that's really cool. That's really nice. I didn't know you played that. That's really nice to hear. Yeah, a lot of people like that song, actually. That got a lot of good reactions. So, yeah, no, that song came out better than I think either me or Juno Dreams expected. We were... Yeah, I loved it. I remember listening to it for the first time. I was coming back from vacation at the airport, and just, yeah, I was like blown away actually, you know, hearing the final mix. I was, yeah, this is really cool.
Well, great job on that track and a great job on everything else that you've released. I mean, you definitely have this like really awesome sound that is, you know, I like to kind of compare it to like, or describe it as sort of like, you know, it's dreamy, yes, but it's like got that kind of Valley Girl kind of like feel and that vibe to it, that mall pop kind of like feel from the 80s. And I really enjoy it because of that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for, really. Yeah, that whole like, yeah, that someone said mall wave. If mall wave was a thing, that would be, yeah, that's fine by me. That's, yeah, I love that. I love all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Big old jean jackets, jumping around, singing in the
Yeah.
mall. You know what I mean? Big
Yeah,
hair, tees to the max.
good. Exactly. Just, yeah, just getting into the vibe, feeling like you're back in the 80s, you know, having fun. Yeah, just enjoying life. Don't take anything too seriously. That's kind of the whole sort of vibe. And something that makes you feel like you're somewhere else for a bit, you know, especially when things are getting a bit too much here. It just makes you kind of go off somewhere else, which is nice.
What was the drive behind getting you into making music and performing live?
I mean, I've always, you know, been into performing and singing, and since I was little, I was always in the school choir and the school musicals, and then I joined a local theatre group, and we put on like musicals every year. So I've always been into performing, and then I was in a girl band for about a year, which was good fun. So yeah, it was kind of a natural progression, but I always wanted to make music like this. I always wanted to record this kind of sound, but I didn't know how to get into it. I wasn't that familiar with the whole like synthwave scene. I knew a few like Mitch Murder, but I wasn't, you know, totally familiar with it. And then I think it was like 2016 or 2017, and I just kind of was listening to some different artists, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go, and I just sent my demo off to some producers, and yeah, it kind of went from there, really.
That's great. Going on that journey, like, you know, having a musical background and then like saying to yourself, you know, hey, I really love this style of music. I really love this thing. And I really kind of want to put it out in the world because it's something I feel inside. And now look at where you're at. You know what I mean? It's like everybody knows your name. Everybody knows your name now, especially in this scene. Like everybody knows your name, like you as a heavy hitter here. So.
Well, it's a nice scene, isn't it? Everyone's really just so warm, and you know, it just feels like, I know it's a cliche, isn't it? But it does feel like a kind of family, you know, everyone's so connected and kind to each other, and it's just really nice, you know. I feel quite lucky to be part of it, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, in some of the other interviews that I've done, you know, some of the other artists I've interviewed, especially in this genre, they have pretty much all said the same thing. It's like, it's this sense of community, this sense of family, you know, and the amount of people that come out to these events and support these events are really a giant collective of different backgrounds, you know, different races, different genders, you know. It's like you have people who are into hip hop, some people who are into like you know, rock music, metal music, you know,
Yeah.
Industrial, whatever, but they've all found a common ground, which is this style of music. You know, whether it's listening to, you know, Outrun or Dark Synth or like the, I guess even Vaporwave, if you want to kind of put it in there, but it's all encompassing in this style of music that we have called synthwave here. And it's really great that they can all dance and party, even with the heaviest people out there, the heaviest, like meanest looking dudes in the leather jacket will go, oh man, I really like this track. I really like this like really groovy, like summer type vibe track. Or I really like, you know, even like your track, Dangerous, like I was telling you about. Like I have seen metalheads like dancing in the dance floor to that track. So
That's
it's just a
awesome.
really
That's
warm
so
thing.
cool.
Yeah, it's just a really warm scene where everybody is really kind of like accessible and is really like just really great people.
It's funny because today I was at the DIY store and they were playing Vaporwave, which I thought was kind of unusual, you know. They don't normally, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So, all right.
We'll see it slowly but surely like bleeding its way into mainstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, but it's getting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and another thing too, it's artists like you and artists and people out there who create this style of music that help it push it into the mainstream, because as long as there's people out there creating and building and sharing their work, we are making the mainstream.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
What are you looking forward to accomplishing the most moving forward?
So moving forward, I guess, yeah, just make more music. I'm sort of, well, I am working on an EP with Songwriter LA Dreams at the moment, which, we're going for a really kind of summery, kind of funky, New Shoes type vibe, sort of late 80s, so yeah, we're working on that at the moment. We've kind of done 3 tracks, maybe we'll do another 2 or 3 and hopefully put it out by the end of the summer, which is cool. And just more shows, I think. This is the first time I've got more of a full band, and we're really raring to just get out and do some more live shows, really. So looking ahead, that's what we're kind of looking towards doing. So hopefully not that far off. I don't know.
It's not going to be too much longer. I mean,
yeah.
as long as we keep staying home and staying healthy and continuing to flatten the curve, if you will, we're going to get through this a lot faster. And I'm really excited to hear what you have coming up with Songwriter and LA Dreams. I think that's going to be pretty rad. I mean, I'm a fan of Songwriter, and I'm sure that is definitely going to be, like, having a full concept album like that is going to be freaking rad.
Yeah, hopefully. We're really excited about it. So yeah, we're excited for everyone to hear it.
Well, to everybody out there, be on the lookout for that, because it's going to be amazing. And as far as shows, I mean, I would love to see you out here in LA. I mean, that would be amazing to see you out here in LA. Once all of this gets back to, I guess, normal, as we can call it, it would be great to be able to have you come out to LA again and, and see you perform out here, because that would be amazing.
I would love to come to LA and perform. I mean, there's so many places I would love to go. I mean, I've never actually performed abroad before, like, apart from the UK. So yeah, I'd love to do that. It's just the logistics of it, really. It's just kind of like getting the band over as well and that kind of thing. But I'm sure we'll figure something out in the future. A lot of people do ask me, and I'm like, oh, I hope so, one day. So we'll see.
Well, if there's a will, there's a way. And it will happen. I know it will. So everybody out there, you want to see Roxi Drive start sounding off. Here in LA, start sounding off. Here in the US, start sounding off. Make it happen.
Exactly. Just book us and we'll come.
If you book them, they will come. What positive message would you give your fans out there?
Be yourself. Just sort of do what you feel is right for you. Don't worry about putting yourself in a box or feeling like, oh, but, oh, I'm not supposed to do that, or I'm not supposed to dress that way, or, just like whatever it is in life that is your passion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be music. It could be anything. Just do it, and don't worry about what other people think, because you can spend a lifetime worrying about what they think, and then you're never going to do anything. So whatever it is that makes you personally tick, makes you excited, makes you happy, just do it. Because I was one of those people. I used to worry a lot about what other people thought, and it comes to a point where you just kind of have to forget that and just be you. Yeah.
To everybody out there, don't worry about validation from other people, because it's not important. It's all about what you love and what you want to show to the world. I mean, if other people enjoy it as well, then great, but it's all going to depend on you, the person, to muster up this courage and the strength to share who you are, warts and all, with everybody. And I think those are some great words and some great advice to everybody out there. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, no worries. I was just going to say, there's keeping with the kind of 80s theme, there's these kids of like Instagram, like we did a music video recently with them all, and some of them are as young as 14. I mean, some of them wouldn't maybe want to be called kids, they're like 19, but they go to college, they go to high school wearing head to toe 80s gear, and that's kind of, to me, that's really cool. I don't know if I would have had the confidence at that age to dress like that and have the big hair and everything else. And, they get mean comments and they get people saying things to them and giving them funny looks, but, they don't care. They just do it. And I think that's just really inspiring, especially at a young age, to have that confidence.
It really is. It really is inspiring because, you know, they're kind of saying to the world, like, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do me and what I like. And I'm going to make that shine no matter how I have to. I mean, I know for me back in high school, like I was, you know, Mr. Goth kid, you know, black lipstick, black eyeliner, big hair, like, you know, in a band, you know what I mean? And it was like, going to school, you're right. I did get a lot of comments. A lot of people would say things to me, but in the grand scheme of things, I didn't care. I was like, you know, whatever. I am who I am, and I'm gonna you know, flaunt that to the world. And you're just gonna have to accept it. So I think that that's really great that people are, you know, that what you were talking about, these, you know, these young adults being able to share their creativity with the world, like things that inspire them to you know, to push forward with their love of this style of music, or their love of that era.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Roxy, for sitting down today and taking this time to have this conversation. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and watching us talk. To everybody out there, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we have way more artist interviews on the way, so stay tuned. I look forward to seeing you again very soon, Roxy, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack. You too. Thanks for having me. It was nice talking to you.
It was definitely nice talking to you as well. We're going to have to do this again sometime. And to everybody out there, dream it, build it, and let it grow. And don't be afraid to be yourself. I'll see you again next time.
See you, Jack. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you.